All right, we're back. Okay, so my name's Matt. This is Streaming Caffeine, and I hope everybody's having a terrific evening. So I was just streaming for like an hour, and I didn't realize that I was having a lot of issues with the stream until like 45 minutes into it. Of course, that's what happens. But anyway, I believe the issue was that I had rendered videos prior to this and my RAM was full, and that's why I was having a bunch of issues with the hiccups. I hope that's the problem. I have noticed a little bit of issues now that I've been trying to stream multiplayer games online. I hope that's not going to become an issue going forward. But anyway, we're going to play No Man's Sky because it is May the 4th. So we're going to get a little bit of Star Wars vibes here. We're going to jump into a spaceship. Jumping out in the galaxies, blast around, shoot some pirates, some good stuff. So basically, No Man's Sky is a large, well, immense, massive open world MMO really now. Used to be single player, but it basically allows you to do whatever you want on the base game. The Expedition, which is what we're going to jump into, is more of a streamlined approach, which is going to give us a little bit of a head start compared to the base game, but it's also going to have pre-designated milestones that if we complete, we'll get rewards, and those rewards will carry on into the base game. I have not played this game other than the other night when I was playing with my buddy for years, because we were playing it on console before and we had all kinds of issues with after we would build too much, the game would no longer render because the console couldn't keep up. So we had a lot of problems with that. So we finally gave up after I don't even know how many hours, hundreds, maybe even 1,000 hours in this game. We just basically built massive bases and we'd fall through them because I don't know what it was, but that had something to do with the collision. The collision was messed up, and the collision with the ground and the building. So like you would fall through the building, but then you would fall through the ground and like it gets stuck, and it was just this whole thing. So anyway, one of the big differences between the base game and the Expeditions, which is like a seasonal content. So if you think of like Diablo or Path of Exile or something like that has seasonal content, you will get some updated stuff, and then that'll then get sent back to the base game. So let's just hop right into this. We're going to play game. We're going to delete the one that I just did because, well, I couldn't do anything with it anyway. So let's go ahead and delete that. Yeah, current data. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. So continue and delete save data. So anyway, so we're just going to go ahead and start a new one, which is what we had just done. So you have a couple different options if you're not familiar with the game. You got normal, which is your standard base. You have survival, which obviously is going to make it a much more difficult time surviving. So I would not recommend anybody who's not familiar with this game specifically to do survival, because I play many survival games. Survival crafting, base building, all that kind of stuff. But eventually I might try the survival and the permadeath modes, but because of like all the different changes and everything, I'm still pretty much fresh like everybody else. I know a lot of the basic concepts, but a lot of the concepts they added later on throughout the game, I'm not familiar with. So when it first came out, if anybody follows No Man's Sky, it didn't come out with the best reviews. And personally, I bought the game when it first came out, played it on PlayStation, or it was PS4 at the time, and I wasn't. It kind of reminds me of the cyberpunk hype. I didn't know anything about No Man's Sky. I'm not normally a person who likes space games or really even sci-fi. Like lately, I've been enjoying it a little bit more with cyberpunk and stuff, but. At the time, I didn't really like it, so I wasn't following it. Like, it was this big new thing I couldn't wait for. But everybody else did. And I guess Hello Games promised, like, all this stuff and multiplayer and all these different things. And when the game first came out, there was no multiplayer. And it was just a lot of the things that they promised, they didn't deliver. Once again, Cyberpunk, exact same scenario there. So over the last, I don't mean how many years, it's been years since it was released. I would say at least 4. I want to say it was 4 years, because I remember it being 2000. You know what? I can't remember. Anyway, it's been a few years. And over the last few years, there's been so much content added to this game. And just recently, they added Outlaws, which I haven't really messed with that. So there's a whole bunch of content here to play. And they also have the seasonal content with the expedition. So we're going to jump in. We're going to do an expedition. We're going to see how that goes. And then from there, that'll eventually take us to the base game. So anyway, strap in. It should be for a good time. Like I said, I plan to play Cyberpunk tonight, but it is May the 4th, and I just felt we needed to have some Star Wars, some spaceship battles, some light speed, you know, have some of those moments. And I feel like it was a perfect time to do it. And since I had this PC built, and since I bought this 4K monitor, I have been waiting to play this game, because it really does, to me, like, it's a large immersive game, and in this case it's a, you know, a bit massive monitor, so it's allowing me to see everything that's here. So even before I got the monitor, I really just wanted to play it, because like I said, I love this game. I played a ton of it on the I forgot to switch my thing. I played a ton of it on the console, but we just ran into limitations of technology at the time. And PS5, I'm sure, would have been a little bit better, which I do have one of those. But I just wanted to wait and play it on PC, because I knew it was going to be just that much better. But so anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to, I forgot to switch the overlay. But anyway, so this is the game overlay. This is Expedition 6, The Blighted. We're on planet Isa 77R6. A lot of the stuff that's going to happen initially is going to be tutorial based, but everything around the world is still going to happen. So if we sit around and we talk too much, we're going to die. So I'm going to talk a little bit, but then we're also going to be actively doing things, because otherwise the hazards on the planets will happen and then we'll die. So the first thing I tried to do was analyze that plant in front of us, and it says the analyst visor is broken. So the analyst visor is a planetary exploration device that locates and highlights nearby points of interest. It can be used to analyze flora, fauna, minerals, and minerals. Analysis results in commercially valuable data, as well as revealing additional resources. So basically what it's going to allow us to do is analyze creatures, plants, rocks, anything like that, and then minerals, which everything outside of plants and creatures is pretty much minerals. And you'll find that out. Eventually we'll find gas and different things like that, but for the most part, a lot of the things we'll do, it'll be minerals, metals, things like that. So let's go ahead, and we're going to need to craft a nanotube, but we're going to blow this thing up here because it has carbon, and I know that we're going to need a carbon nanotube. And we'll see if we can't. So the community expeditions, the hunt for the pirates of the Blight and their secret treasure has begun. Complete milestones to earn rewards. Complete all milestones in phase for special exclusive items. View progress in the expedition page. Earn exclusive rewards by completing milestones. Complete milestones in any order. Follow a path of the galaxy to each of the rendezvous points to earn large rewards. Exclusive expedition rewards can be accessed on any save. Expedition saves will be converted to normal mode at the end of the expedition. And that's what I was talking about. So let's get into this expedition and see what we can get here. So we broke down that carbon. We'll see if we can find something else that's carbon. Some of these say advanced mining laser required. Obviously, we can't do anything with that. So that's going to give us cobalt, which is really nice. We're going to need that for metal later. And you can see off in the distance, that's a creature. and some of them are passive, some of them are aggressive, some of them are only aggressive if you touch their babies or get near them. There's tutorial. It just depends on what you're looking at the time. And right now we are looking for carbon, because we know carbon is what we need to get that next thing. So, and as we play through and kind of do things, on the bottom right hand corner you're going to see like little pop-ups, and that's kind of like the tutorial sending us where to go. Like I said, I have a very good understanding of the basic concepts of it. I'm just not familiar with all the additional things they added. So I'll be learning it just right along with you as well. So, and right now we are in a radiological storm, which sucks. So we need to get to our spaceship, which we don't know where it's at yet because we can't scan, because we need to fix our analyst visors. We'll see if we have enough to fix our to create a nanotube. So I'll kind of slow it down a little bit, but if I don't do it this way, I'm going to die trying to explain a lot of things. So we need to initially just get to the ship. After you get to the ship, at that point, then we don't have to worry about as much, because when you're in a closed area like that, you don't have to worry about dying anymore. So we just need to, as you can see on the left side, our radioactive shield is dropping. And the way you repair shields in this game are yellow elements, such, and you'll find sodium, so you'll see Na all over. That's what you're going to want to get for your shields. Oxygen is what you're going to need to get to repair your life support. And so colors are very important, like hydrogen right there, the hydrogen crystals. We're going to need that for the spaceship. And then so basically what I'm doing is hitting the scanner. I'm playing on controller, so you'll see things pop up that I'm on PC, but they're going to pop up as controller. So there's sodium, because I know I need that for the shield that's dropping right now. So one of the things that this game does, and it's not going to allow me to use that. Where's it at? Maybe not. Was it this one? Okay, maybe I need uranium for that. Oh shoot, we need to run. Our ship is 300 units away. We are running. Oh, we got attacked by something. That was aggressive. That plant or that animal there attacked us. We're like half dead now. Oh my goodness. So what I was saying is that expedition mode is kind of the mode you play if you've already played through a decent amount of the base game and you have an understanding of the tutorial, because it throws you in the middle of a really crappy planet right off the bat, and I'm half dead and I know exactly what I'm doing. So I got attacked by a creature. Our hazard shields completely dropped, and we're almost dead again. So if I don't get to the ship soon, we're gonna be dead. So this is our ship. We're gonna jump in it super quick, because if we don't, we are dead. Get in the ship. All right, cool, beautiful. Now everything will recharge, and we can kind of have a little bit more of a discussion. So basically, the launch thrusters are broken. We found they dropped us off in the middle of nowhere, and we had to find our ship. That's initially the first part of the quest. And our launch thrusters are critically damaged. The launch thruster is a vital launch and landing gear system. System is highly damaged and requires dihydrogen jelly and pure ferrite to repair. Construct a portable refiner to process pure ferrite. So normally you'd have to find schematics to unlock the portable refinery, but because we're playing on the expedition, not only is the game a lot less user-friendly initially, it kind of gives you a little bit of a bump, because they don't want you to get bogged down into systems that you haven't been that you're not aware of. So hopefully you played the base game, but if not, it's not trying to completely like destroy your hopes and dreams. But if you hang around too long, you're gonna die before you ever get to the ship. But So it's going to give us a portable refinery so we can refine the stuff that we need immediately so we can repair the ship. You don't normally get that. So we need pure ferrite and dihydrogen jelly, which dihydrogen jelly and Starship Auto Diagnostics. So when the ship turned on, we're getting a message. It says iteration, a whole bunch of numbers, and it's highlighted 4924G. That could be important later on, who knows. Online, Atlas connection, sabotaged. This ship seems to recognize me, but something is wrong. The damage to the core components is not consistent with a crash impact. Someone has deliberately tampered with this vessel. There's a creature on top of my ship right now. A very large creature. You can see it in the thing, the Blight. Your presence in this galaxy is unappreciated. Traveler anomaly. We are watching and we are dangerous. Do not repair the ship. Do not pursue us. So if you remember, the expedition we're doing is the Blight. And the Blight has directly, essentially threatened us by saying they're dangerous. And they don't want us to repair the ship. And they don't want us to pursue them. And we are probably going to do the opposite. So we can either delete the message or trace the source. We might as well try to trace the source. As I attempt to probe the source of the message, it self-destructs. The only clue is the signature of the message, the Blight. All right, I'm going to check periodically the stream and just make sure things are looking better because, like I said last time, this did not go very well, and I don't want to go through that route where I waste a bunch of time and have to redo this all over again. So I have no memory of provoking this animosity, but the tone suggests this is the work of interstellar pirates. I should repair the ship and investigate further. Told you we're not going to listen. So if you're not familiar with the game at all, I'm just going to take a quick rundown about a couple things that we're going to do, but I didn't want to do it initially because we'd probably die before we got here. So there's 3 different initial things that we get. We get later, we'll get different things, but right now, your exosuit is your spacesuit. You got your starship, and then you have your multi-tool, which is what we're going to use to mine the different materials. So the exosuit, and each item, whether it's exosuit, starship, or the multi-tool, has 3 different tabs. And you're going to have general tab, technology tab, and cargo tab. And these are important because the general tab, obviously they only have so many space, and you can put anything in a general tab. In a technology tab, you can only put technology. In a cargo tab, I think you can put anything in here, but the thing that the cargo works really well for is you can put large amounts of items in the cargo. So if you have thousands and thousands of chromatic metal, you can just throw it in a cargo, and it stacks higher than it would in the general tab. I believe that's the difference. They could have changed that since I played, but that was the general consensus of how it worked. This is the personal refinery that I was talking about. It's a self-mounted refinery unit, a compact extension to the exosuit, installing a small portable refinery accessible directly from the user's exosuit interface. Unit requires fuel and is limited to refining one substance at a time. So eventually you'll get into bases and it'll be a lot bigger things to refine, but right now we're just going to use a personal refinery. And what this does, we're going to use carbon to fuel it, and then there's an input. We'll input something in there, and then there's an output. And basically the way it works is when you put something in here, it'll tell you what will output. So if we put cobalt in here, it's going to tell you that if we run this, it's going to give us ionized cobalt. So it's just a quick rundown on how the personal refiner works, but you're going to need that because right off the bat, we're going to have to create some items that are going to require us to refine. That's why they gave us a personal refinery right away. And as you can see at the middle there where it says move technology, since we know this is technology, we're going to move it to the technology tab, because while we're out exploring and harvesting, we're going to want the most amount of space we can get here. And then, for instance, here, this jetpack, it's aerial propulsion booster, provides the exosuit with advanced movement capabilities, including temporarily flight. Control the thrust with A. The flight pack uses energy from the exosuit's life support system to pressurize and vent bursts of gas, propelling the user into the air. Jetpacks can be temporarily overloaded by gathering deuterium-rich plants, causing a dramatic increase in available thrust. I forgot about that. Yeah. We got hazardous protection, exosuit environmental shielding. The exosuit hazard protection system continually monitors and stabilizes the user's environment. General reactive protection may be augmented with environmental shields, offering increased protection against specific conditions. So this is the base hazard protection. They gave us a radiation deflector, which is a hazard protection unit. The user is shielding for radiation damage. So because they started us on a radiation planet, which is not very nice of Hello Games, they gave us an initial radiation deflector, which is the shield. This is your base hazardous protection, which requires sodium nitrate, or ion batteries to recharge. And this is the additional things that we need for the protection. So can we move this? Quickly transfer. Let's put you in the starship. Okay. So one of the things you'll notice is, so this is a hazardous protection, and this is a hazardous deflector. So this directly relates to this. So if we put them close to each other, they actually link. Now this one is a unlicensed biological ion shield, suspicious black market modification for hazard protection, bypassing nearly every galactic standard for workmanship and safety. This upgrade module affects cold resistance, toxic resistance, radiation resistance, and heat resistance. So it's just a minor buff, 2% and 3%. So we're going to move this over to, should be the same thing. We'll put it there, and see, they all three link now. Why won't it let me move this? Oh yeah, because it's not technology. So we're going to move these out the way. These are elements that we've already harvested since we've been playing. And then now this is a supreme upgrade for the radiation protection. At almost total rework of the radiation protection, this upgrade is a module brings unparalleled improvements to the radiation protection and radiation damage shielding. So if we put that there, all four of those are going to benefit the hazardous protection, or all three of these. So this is an S-class radiation protection, which is the highest. So that's they gave us these. These are, you normally would just get this, this, and this, and no, you wouldn't get that. So you get a jetpack, life support, and a basic hazardous protection. And then when you went to a planet that required you to have a different hazard protection, you would have had to look that up, get the schematic, and build it, or create the technology yourself, or buy it from one of the vendors. So it gave us a little bit of a boost here, obviously, with the 4. So what we're going to do is drop these off here, since they all link. But now we might have some issues with the way they link. We'll see. Yeah, no, those all link. So all 4 of those are affecting each other. Actually, these 2 are separate, I think. Yeah, something like that. So those are all affecting each other. And then we go here. Life support, we're going to move this up here. We can also move these here because we don't have any upgrades. When we get upgrades to these, we're going to need to move them back because we won't be able to add any upgrades here. There's no room. But we have cargo space. We have the starship now. So we have dihydrogen and the starship. We might as well keep that in the exosuit. So we're going to be farming that. Tritium is something that we need that's going to refuel our pulse engine. And this is a deflector shield, same thing as the other shields. But our launch thrusters, vertical takeoff system, we need to repair this. So anyway, that's the basics of the exosuit. The starship's the exact same thing. You have technology, cargo. If it's not broken, you can move it. So we can move this here, and we can move this rocket launcher here. We don't have any buffs or any upgrades for these, so it doesn't really matter. We'll just keep them over here like that. These we can't actually move because they are broke. We could put this one over here as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it so far. And then if we go to the multi-tool section, one of the first things they did right off the bat was install the analyst visor, because without that, we can't find our ship. And we also can't scan anything to discover, and we can't survey the area. So that's one of the most important things to get right away. And it forces you to get that by being able to find your ship. We have our scanner already, which in this case, it's my left stick. Yours is going to be different probably if you're using PC. And then I got the standard miner beam. So this one doesn't have anything but general. I think there may be some that have general tool, different, but all these are spaces. And you really want to maximize your space, because that's going to be the most frustrating thing about the game, is you're going to want to collect everything, because it's just one of those games that it encourages you to explore, just self-exploration, do whatever you want. You don't have to follow the cookie cutter or whatever it's telling you, but you're going to run out of space really quick. So anyway, that's the basics. We're going to need a lot more than that to understand more, but that's the most general we can get. This is the expedition milestones that we have to complete. You're going to have phase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or they call it final phase. We are in phase 1, and we had to do milestone clipped wings, repair critical starship systems. So that's the one we're on. The one we completed was the compass, and that's the one that when we walked up to the ship popped up and said, you've completed this thing, blah blah blah. So basically, because we repaired the analyst visor, it then sent us here. So then now we know that we repaired that. So if you look, it gave us an upgrade module, and that was one of the things I was mentioning. So upgrade modules improve the specific technology you have already installed. Each module is unique. Search out specific or rare modules at each space station. You can also find them in the game anywhere. Upgrade modules are ready-made and require no crafting. You just have to install them, and it'll give you a random version of the upgrade module. It could be all the way to the max. It could be the basic. It just depends on whatever it gives you. Use nanites to buy upgrades from the space station technology merchants. Each upgrade is unique. Check every space station for rare upgrades. Every core technology can support 3 upgrade modules. So that was going back to like the shield we were looking at can only support 3 upgrade modules. Well, it's good to know, excuse me, going forward. So it looks like it gave us a suspicious movement module, banned movement system upgrade, a black market modification for the exosuit movement systems. We install it. The potential improvements include jetpack capacity, jetpack fuel efficiency, and exosuit speed boost duration. So it looks like we can take this, install it, and then it's going to go in our technology, and we're going to need it for our jetpack. So this is one of those things to where we have to move the technology. See how it instantly linked and turned yellow? That means the upgrade we got, which is the base level, is going to increase our jetpack, which is what allows us to fly and hover, by 112%. For the tank, which basically is how long can you fly. Sprint recovery time is how long does it take to recover after you fully sprint. And then your initial power boost, how high you're going to shoot up initially, and then how much it costs your fuel efficiency to use it. So that's where we're at so far. And what else did it give us? Let's take a look. We're in the starships. I think it put everything in here. So it gave us an ion battery, which is convenient and optimized power storage unit used in wide variety of defense and hazard protection systems. So back when I was saying you can use yellow or like sodium or sodium nitrate, you know, any of those elements, there are also things in a game you can create that automatically do the same thing, but in a better way, automatically refilling the whole bar. And these are the ion batteries for the defense and the hazard protections. And then we have life support gel, which is going to do the same thing for the exosuit for our life support. So we can also use oxygen, life support gel, or dioxide. So red is going to be life support, yellow is going to be hazard, and that's the most basic thing we have to worry about. So we need to get anything else on the starship? No, but these are the two things we unlocked. And go back to the expedition. So it looks like we need to repair our critical starship systems. So it's telling us all the different things. Obtain guidance by pinning the components. Oh, someone's here, right there, right in front of us. And they are trying to put something down right next to our ship. Yes, this is where everybody spawns in for the expedition. So we'll see a lot of people initially. And then as you get away from the initial tutorial couple planets after that, because basically you can go anywhere you want in the galaxy within a certain warp distance, you'll start to lose people as you go. But initially, we're going to see people all over the place. But let's go see what we need to repair the launch thrusters. We need dihydrogen jelly and pure ferrite. So we need to make dihydrogen jelly, which that's one of the reasons why I got the dihydrogen right away, because I knew we're going to need that. And all you got to do is, if you're going to install technology, you're going to install technology. And we can actually add protection upgrades ourselves if we wanted to. We just have to fulfill the required parts to do so. We could upgrade our oxygen recycler and stuff like that. But right now, all we need to do is craft a product. And there's a couple different categories here: component, consumable, trade item, and curiosity. We're just going to go to all products, scroll down, and right here, dihydrogen jelly. A faintly glowing jelly. It's gentle, light, and soft, wobble, belial. The fact that the sticky gel is both highly toxic and highly flammable. The skin contact is to be avoided at all times. Synthesized from dihydrogen. So we're going to create one of those, because we need one. And we're going to need... what else do we need? Pure ferrite. So here's our personal refiner. We're going to need to find ferrite. So... oh, we already had some. I don't think we have enough, though. That's what this ferrite dust is. So if we take this and put it here, that's going to give us pure ferrite. So we have 2 of them. How much do we need? 50. So we definitely need more than that. For the most part, everything, most rocks are going to drop the ferrite. If we, here we can use this save and chart real quick. This is going to save the game without the use of leaving the starship, and it's also going to look, I believe, and tell us about anything in the area. Maybe not. It used to do that. It might be something different. What's this? Oh, Galactic Trade Terminal. I just got one chilling here. What's up, dude? How are you? What's up, Ramses? Oh, we can't mess around too much. We're on a radiated planet. Let's see here. We go here. So these say required Atlas Pass version 1 required. That's an upgrade that we have to buy later. We won't be able to use that anytime soon, but just know that these large, they look like camera lenses, what they look like. Big, large camera lenses. You can't open those until... oh, they're going to attack me. Those things are violent. Why are they so violent? It's crazy. They put us on a brand new planet with hostile stuff. This is not very nice. All right, so this is going to give us the ferrite dust we need. So we're just going to smash all these. Normally your rocks are going to give you ferrite dust. Some plants do, but most plants will give you carbon. It just depends on what it is. In this case, there's two different components you can get from breaking down this tallstarite. You can get the ferrite dust, or you can get uranium. So these are just decorative foliage. You can't actually analyze those and break those down. There are some of those, and then, but most things you can analyze and destroy. Same thing with that. What are you? You're goofy looking. It's gonna tell us the behavior is reckless, so that's why it's attacking us. It produces tall eggs, so if we see any eggs, we probably don't want to mess with them, or we're gonna piss that thing off. What's that? A rock? Yep. And that's probably gonna have ferrite. Oh, this was discovered by Ramses already. And we got another radioactive storm coming, of course. Don't attack me, I'm just trying to get some ferrite. So if we get enough ferrite dust, we can then make our pure ferrite, and then take that and replace our launch systems. And that'll allow us to launch up in the sky. Oh, that's not my starship, that's theirs. So we need 50. We'll see how many we can make. So how much did we get? We got 136. So it's a shortcut to just drop it in there if you already have fuel. If you don't have any fuel, you can't do that. So how many do I need? 50? We're gonna get way more than that. Might as well just make it all, because you're always gonna pick up certain things, like this pure ferrite dust. So now we need to create, we need 50. Oh, we just need to take it out of the refiner. So when we take it out and we put it in, say, the exosuit, now we can go to the starship and repair the launch thrusters. All you do is click on it, and then if you have what it requires, repair and repair. That's it. We repaired the launch thrusters, which will allow us to take off. We're going to also want to get the pulse engine repaired, because the way the pulse engine works is that allows you to basically go into like hyperspeed. So that's going to be pretty cool as well. So let's take a look at creating the hermetic seal and the metal plating. So what do we need for that? We need condensed carbon. So we're going to need to, so basically anything that's, well, traditionally anything, most things that are alive, whether it's plants or animals, will give you carbon. And then we're going to need that to create, so we're going to need to take carbon and put it in the refiner to get condensed carbon to make the hermetic seal. And then what else do we need? We need metal plating, which we'll need, let's see here, just ferrite dust. That's easy. So that's what we got to get. So more, and we're not going to attack the animals right away to get carbon, because they are somewhat aggressive. What's that? And we walked right into a storm. Weapon charge is depleted. Yay. On the multi-tool. So let's hope we don't have any carbon. Well, that's problematic. Because if we have no carbon, I didn't think of that. That's definitely problematic. Can I buy some? Well, hopefully we can buy some, because someone just happens to have one here. We need carbon, like really bad, and we don't have an ability to harvest it because I didn't save any to repair or to refuel the mining tool. So that is quite problematic. Not gonna lie. Maybe we can find a plant that'll give it. I think you have to shoot it. Can I shoot these little things? Nope, weapon charge depleted. Well, this seems to be a problem. How'd I use all of it? That was just so dumb. I didn't even think of that. I have any carbon in here? I can't take the fuel out. No. I was going to take the fuel out of this thing. There's a little bit of carbon in here, but we have no carbon. The mining laser will harvest carbon from trees, plants, and all other forms. Well, what happens if you don't have a charge on the mining laser? And you don't have any carbon? I feel like I made a really newbie mistake right now. Because I don't have any way to charge this. Okay, so here's what we're going to have to do. I have to find something. Well, no. Because I can't. I don't have a way to get carbon if I don't have... Hey, if anybody's in the chat, happens to be in the chat, feel free to speak up and let me know if there's any way to get carbon if you don't have how to repair your mining beam if you don't have carbon. Make sure I don't have any hidden somewhere. I feel like this is a really newbie mistake. Okay. There's hydrogen, there's that. So this is technically the same thing as being in a ship because we're in a cave. We no longer get the radiation, so that's good. That'll stabilize us for a second. Where can I get carbon if I don't have a rechargeable multi-tool? What the heck? I got an idea. Okay. So I think what we're gonna do is get in the ship and shoot the ground. Because if you... Oh, wait. I'm going to be able to get a little bit of... Oh, here's a cargo pod. Nice. Okay. I might be good. I might get a little carbon here and we might be saved. We don't want to do that again, though. So that's not a good thing at all. Damaged container. Probably just has rusted stuff. Not very useful. Give me some carbon, please. Give me some carbon. Come on. There's a pod. So these are found throughout the world, and it's an upgrade module. And if you can provide what they need, so a carbon nanotube, sodium nitrate, super easy to get. The only thing that would be difficult is the antimatter housing. Then you would get a free, or not free, but you would get an upgrade for completing those tasks. You can also get one free upgrade, or not free, but you can get an upgrade every new system you go to by visiting the space station. And I really can't believe I just did this, because I don't know what to do. The only thing I can think of is that since our thrusters are on, we may be able to fly up in the ship, shoot the ground, and get carbon that way. That's all I got. Because we have the ability to launch into space, we just don't have the ability to warp, I believe. Let's hope this works. Yep, I know that, but we don't need a pulse engine right now, so we are going to go into this. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I know that. I don't need a pulse engine to fly in the sky. Not gonna let me. I'll be. Well, this is a problem. This is quite the problem. I wonder if I can use this. Can I break this down? Destroy unwanted. No, I don't want to discard it. Can I break it down into carbon? Quick move it stack. No, I can't break it down because it's gonna destroy the resource. If it could break it down, then I could use that, but oxygen. All right, I'm gonna take a quick break. I will be back. I gotta figure this out. Hope I don't have to restart. All right, so we're back. Yeah, so relatively simple. I just wasn't thinking. I wasn't thinking. All you got to do is melee. So it makes sense. And why I had to Google that, but I did. So that will save what we need to do. Oh, that's hazardous. We don't want to mess with that though. Okay, that ain't what we want to melee. Let's try this again. What do we got? What do you got for me? Can I get something from you? Carbon. Yep, we'll just melee it. I did not think of that at all, but that's all we needed. Beautiful. Now, forgot what we were doing before I hit that unexpected detour there. Now we are going to get some we needed condensed carbon, so we are going to get a bunch of carbon and ferrite. What's that? And that's that. Break that down. So some of this game is just kind of mundane mining. That's only because the planet that we are on is a friendly planet as far as sentinel activity. Because the sentinels are actually what protects each planet. And certain planets that you want to go mine because they have high value items, trade materials and stuff like that, you'll find that the sentinel activity on those are very high. So anytime you are trying to mine on those planets, you're going to get attacked. And it didn't used to be that big of a weapon charge depleted. It didn't used to be that big of a deal, but nowadays those sentinels are rough. And even if you jump in your ship and try to take off, they follow you. So that's definitely something new that me and my buddy found out yesterday when we were playing, is how they follow you now. When you used to just be able to jump into space and take off, but now they come along with you. So you don't get to just, because you used to be able to like just kind of cheese it by getting whatever you want, and then right when they show up you just take off, but you can't do that anymore. Alright, so let's take some of this carbon. We're going to throw it in the personal refinery. We also need to, well, we used it all, so we need to get more now. Oh, I want to identify that before we break it. Too late. How do you... Can you zoom? I don't remember. There it is. Yep, you can zoom. There we go. So we'll zoom in. Just doing some analysis because everything we discover when we leave the planet, we'll just upload to the discovery module, and then that'll give us nanites that we're going to need to buy upgrades later. So it's all part of the process. You got to discover everything so then you can find out what you need for recipes later, and then different upgrades that you're going to need for your ships and your multi-tools and your exosuits and all your equipment. So there is a absolute lot to this game, and yeah, we're not even going to scratch the surface tonight, but I plan to at least get the ship fully repaired in the sky, check out the warp drive, show you the light speed, and then that'd probably be all we're going to get to tonight, because I'm going to rack out probably around midnight. So if you didn't catch earlier, and I just came back on stream, so my name's Matt, this is Stream and Caffeine, and we are playing No Man's Sky. Traditionally we have been playing Cyberpunk, and I got a couple other games that I'm looking to play as far as trying out. This is one of them. And yeah, I figured since it's May the 4th, it is the perfect time to jump into No Man's Sky and play around with some spaceships and blasting the light speed and all kinds of fun stuff like that. So, oh, I accidentally shot that thing and it is angry. Oh, that's not good because it is huge. Oh, we need to get out of here. Run! Run! Not gonna hurt you. Go away. What are you? What are you? Copper? Ooh, silver. Okay. Alright. We're good. That was going to attack us. We are golden. So let's jump in here. Let's grab this carbon we needed for not the hyperdrive, but the pulse engine. So we need to make the hermetic seal. So if we make a hermetic seal, that's what we needed the condensed carbon for. So we got that. And I believe we need metal plating. Yeah, and metal plating. So now we can repair the pulse engine. Okay, and tritium is something that we can repair. Not repair, but refuel the pulse engine, and then we can refuel the launch thrusters with uranium, or another good thing to repair or refuel is making launch fuel, which all we need is metal plating, because I had already got the dihydrogen, which was the blue stuff. So let's go ahead and get a metal plate real quick. And this is just because I know that what happens in this game is you can go off like super far, explore, you know, end up in different towns and different areas, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait a second, where's my ship? You can call your ship, but if you don't have enough fuel in your launch thrusters, your ship can't take off. So I always keep fuel for my launch thrusters in my ship, because right before I get out of my ship, I fill it up. Because if you don't do that, you're gonna have the same problem that all of us have, and have to truck tons and tons and tons of time to get back to your ship, because you're gonna think, oh, I just call it, no big deal. But can't do that if you don't have any launch thrusters. And all you have to do to call it is pull open this menu here. It's gonna look different depending on whether you're console or not, but you're gonna go here, summon vehicles, and then you'll just see summon Shoshino of Destiny. When I hit A, it would summon it over there, but I'm not going to do that because it's right here and I'd waste my launch fuel. We don't want to do that. So let's go ahead and make our... Oh, we didn't make the jelly. We got to make the jelly. And then now we can make launch fuel. Okay, now we take this launch fuel, And whenever we need it, it's time to refill it. We fill it up. And that's it. That's all we do. So right now, looks like we completed clipped wings, which is the second milestone in the expedition. So, yep, repair your starship. It's going to reward us with 3 warp cells, which we're going to need for the hyperdrive later when we repair that. And the hyperdrive will allow us to jump to different galaxies. And then that's going to allow us to get away from this tutorial-based area where there's a bunch of people, and then you're going to end up in places that no one's ever visited before. And then those are the ones that you can rename everything and make it all your own. But right now we got clipped wings, so I think still mad that I accidentally shot it. So that should be a creature that it doesn't like me. Oh, we got an upgrade module. Oh, got another upgrade module, so let's see what it gives us. Looks like it's going to be for the launch thrusters, and it's going to go here. But since these link, we're going to want to use 2s. So we're probably going to take these photon cannons here, since there's only one. Throw it there, back over here, and then throw that over there. And then when you link them, they turn blue, and that's how you know they're linked. These are all singular, so you really could just take this. It really doesn't matter, but it just gives us more room in the ship. And then these life support gels are actually going to need to be on our exosuit, because that's what they're for. And these batteries can be either for this hazardous system here, or the starship shield that we're going to need when we're fighting in the sky. So anyway, we got our launch thrusters repaired. We got our photo cannons are operational. All we have left to do is get our hyperdrive up and running. So we need 3 microprocessors and 63 chromatic metal. And let's see how much it takes to get microprocessors. I gotta find out what we need for that. Chromatic metal and carbon. So we need carbon, metal, and more metal. So we need to find areas to get probably this planet. If we go to Discovery and we go back one, we click on the planet we're on, it's going to tell us what's here. So it has silver, uranium, and copper. So we're looking for copper. So if we look for these little blue squares that make up 4 little triangles, that's what we're looking for. So you can't do that from the ship, which is super annoying. I thought you could, but I guess you can't. You got to leave it, and then now you come out here and you can see that's a uranium deposit. Uranium. So what we're looking for is copper. That's a shelter. Silver. There's a cargo drop. Oh, that's the cargo drop, yeah. So we have to look around here until we can find copper. There's one right there. It's actually relatively close. We could just run over there. How much time we got left? Yeah. Oh, you know what? I can't do anything without the multi-tool. So we're going to need to install a terrain manipulator, and that's going to allow us to mine the metal. So we need to make 2 carbon nanotubes. Once again, I only know this because this is not my first time playing the game. I just don't know all the nuances that have been updated for the past 3-4 years, or however long it's been. So we're going to install a terrain manipulator, which is what we need. Add the carbon nanotubes, and we just so happen to have that dihydrogen jelly. Perfect. And now we're going to run over there, because it's not really worth taking the ship, because we still have to find... Oh, what's this? So when you scan, you're going to see what's here, and this is a silver. We're going to switch over to our terrain manipulator, and this is how you harvest minerals. Just got to be careful not to shoot the animals, because they're going to get angry. As you see, we are collecting silver. which silver is going to be something that you can use for trade. And then you can also just sell outright for a whole bunch of units, which is going to be really useful in some cases. But then sometimes you're going to come across traders that are going to want specific items from you, and one of those items is going to be like gold and silver and stuff like that. So you could either A, keep it on you and use it for those instances, or B, just sell it to any galactic trade terminal you get and just get units right away. So it's however you want to play that part. Our life support systems are a little low, but I guess it's a little bit further than it looks. But we're going to run over here. We're going to get this. Initially, you're going to want to pick up every single one of these plants. And these aren't a bad idea to pick up either, because you need these for your fuel system, for your fuel, in order to fly your ship. So dihydrogen crystals are always a good idea to pick up. Eventually we're going to get condensed crystals, and then you won't have to pick up all these little ones, but we can't do that yet. Whoa, what was that in the sky? You see that? That was super cool. That was super cool looking. All right, there's a drop pod over here. Let's see what's on this. Damaged machinery. Viscous fluids. An unnaturally thick liquid of dubious color. Its origins are impossible to fathom. It appears to have some mild magnetic properties. Used for upgrading. Okay, so I guess we'll keep it. Put it in our high capacity, because I don't think we're going to use that anytime soon. You can always move that around. This also has a secondary. We can get radon from that as well as carbon. So you might as well... Oh, there's a big one. Some of these look identical, but they're a little bit different. So you have to rediscover the ones that look a little bit different. So this has two different things. You can get carbon or gamma root. And then obviously the secondary is going to be a lot more rare to get. What's this? Heptaploid wheat. Okay, is that aggressive, or can I just harvest it? Oh, let me harvest it. Cool. Some flora is aggressive, and it'll attack you unless you have the proper equipment installed on your multi-tool. So that just gives us flat carbon. That's a hefty one, so it actually might give us a decent amount of carbon, which is always good. Give us 56. Oh, that's a big one too. Jimmy Christmas. They keep getting bigger. So we're gonna fly up in space after we do this. I'm gonna show you how to upload your discoveries to get your nanites, and then that'll pretty much end our stream for the evening. I really had like way more time. I just, for some reason, the stream wasn't working. I think it's working now, and I believe it was my stupidity because I was rendering the videos, and a lot of times when you render videos, it ties up your RAM, and yeah, so I think that was the problem. That's why it was glitching out. It's because I didn't restart the computer to refresh the RAM, and because of it, my stream kept skipping. So it's something to learn. I've only been streaming for a little under a month, so relatively new. I mostly stream Cyberpunk right now. That's kind of my offline game I've been playing. This is the first wrong one. This is the first multiplayer that I went online with, so feel free to check out the VODs. You might enjoy the I'm sure you probably actually would enjoy the content for Cyberpunk. It's actually really similar in game. You know, they're both sci-fi, but yeah, I think you'll enjoy it either way. So we got some more copper here, but I normally stream Monday through Friday, about 9 p.m. to midnight. Sometimes it's a little bit later because I have to put my kids to bed and I can't just hop on right away, but more often than not, I'm sitting here streaming, whether it's Cyberpunk, playing through on, right now we're doing a Nomad playthrough on hard, and we're doing shotguns. I've already did a Netrunner, a Corpo Netrunner, and a Street Kid Samurai, so I got a pretty good amount of knowledge of that game. I really enjoy that as well. But I thought this was the perfect night to play some No Man's Sky. My buddy was supposed to hop on here. It's the same one that I was playing with last night on stream. We're actually having a little bit of technical difficulties, and I think we might have had a little bit of the same thing going on with the stream having some issues, being it's the first time we did a multiplayer stream. But I think we got everything ironed out last night, and then of course I messed up by screwing the RAM up today. But it's just, you know, like I said, I'm relatively new to this, so there's a few things that I'm learning as I go. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. So let's get back to the ship. And ooh, that's a little trick you can do. Oh, just gotta be careful because you can die. So if you run and then hit like your jetpack and your melee attack at the same time, it's a little, not really a glitch, but a well-known, I guess it would be a glitch. Ooh, what's attacking me? Gosh. This place is hostile. Normally you walk by and you don't get attacked by creatures. Like, that's just not very common. Alright. Let's hop in our ship. What we can do is, we're going to get that copper we got, which we're going to need way more than that. But we can take the copper we got, which is a refined stellar metal, yellow. And we're going to toss that in our refiner. And that's going to give us chromatic metal. And we're going to need a bunch of that. So we're going to have to keep going up and finding more copper. And that's going to be initially what we're going to have to do the most, is find metal, refined metal. And then that's going to take us to repairing our hyperdrive, or that is the hyperdrive. So we're going to have that chromatic metal and everything. So that's pretty much what we have to do for those. We go to the expedition. What this wants us to do is rescue the interstellar freighter. If we go, seek insight into the pirate activity affecting the galaxy. Pirates often target civilian freighters. Warp to a nearby system and search for the freighter under attack by pirates. Speak to the freighter captain information about pirate attacks. Additionally, the crew will be grateful for the rescue and volunteer their service for free. So we will get that, but we need to repair the hyperdrive in order to get to those galaxies. So really what we need to do is get metal. That's like number one, what we need to do. But I want to show you what it's like in space. And this is what happens when you blast off the land and you go out in space. And if you look to where I'm pointing right now, down here with this yellow hexagon is the space station. You can tag that and then we can hyperdrive to it. So I'll show you how to do that. 1, 2, blast off. That's going to take a minute. So even though we're traveling at hyper speeds, it's still going to take legit a total of a minute to get there. So it just gives you an idea of how massive this game is. And this is just one system that we're traveling to at light speed. Like we're flying, you know. So what we're going to do is we're not going to get any fights tonight because this area is actually friendly. Ooh, there we go. Object of interest. Oh, trader. What do we got? So this is new. So if you get one of these pop up, you hit Starship Communicator. And one of the things in this game that is really important is you have to learn the different races language. So we don't know anything this person just said. And as we progress through the game, we can learn knowledge by talking to them and trading like different items, and they teach us words, or you can find knowledge rocks, or knowledge stones, I think they're called. And then those will teach you random words for each race. So I don't know what they said. The trader gestures happily, keen to do business directly, free from the interference and regulation of the galactic trade terminals. So the galactic trade terminals are normally on the space stations, and that's where you sell everything. And this is a new addition to where the traders actually come to you and try to trade this way, because it takes... So the trade terminals are completely affected by the economy of each system you go to. So every system you go to, there's a different level of how much copper is worth, and how much gold is worth, and how much silver is worth. And what you used to do is you'd go to a galaxy, find, say, cobalt, and buy it all up at like a low price, just like, you know, buy low, sell high. You'd go to find another system, find a system that cobalt's worth more money, and you flip it, and that's how you used to make money back in the day. I don't know if that's still a valuable... I mean, it's definitely an option. It just may not be the fastest way to do it, but that's how you used to do it. But let's examine the cargo manifest. I haven't done this before. So we can buy a Korvax casing, which is a high-value curiosity. So curiosities are items that different races or life forms you meet in the game, or species, I think they call it species in this game, different species could want. So you could give them that, and then they'd be like, oh, I really like that. And then they'll give you things like, this is the word for trade in my language. And then this is a Korvax convergence cube, storage of historical and cultural information. I don't know what that is. Gravitino ball. This is super important when it comes to creating things later on. Belcium, that's just poop. Star bulb, selenium. So I'm not seeing anything specifically here. You can buy 1, you can buy 5. If we wanted star bulbs for some reason, we could buy them here. If we wanted this poop, we could buy that. And this is selenium. We don't need that either right now, but certain things, I think, what does it say? Hydroponics. Yeah, when you start getting into hydroponics, you're going to want selenium. So these are going to be neat because there's different things, and that was a Korvax, and we aren't Korvax. One thing I would like to do before we get off stream is go to the space station, and we are going to be available to select what species we want, because I'm going to change it up. And we're still 15 seconds away from the space station. So anyway, it seems like it's pretty dead on stream, but if you happen to be checking out the profile, the Twitch profile, and you're checking out the VODs, and you're enjoying the content, and feel free to come by when I go live. I normally go live Monday through Friday. Most nights between 9 p.m. and midnight Pacific Standard Time, which is about my bedtime now, so I gotta work at 6 o'clock in the morning. What else? So if you're checking the VODs and you're not able to make stream but you're enjoying the content, feel free to follow the channel to know when I go live, even if you can't make my original times that I normally stream. Sometimes I do pop-up streams if I have a day off work, or if I have some time on the weekend and stuff like that. So I really appreciate it. Help out the stream and allow us to get to our next objective of 25 followers. And right now I believe we're at 17. Yeah, we're at 17. So doing good. We've been doing this for about just under a month. So I feel like everything's well on its way. But definitely learned a lot just within the month that I've been doing it, and I come to find out I really enjoy doing it. So let me know if you come in the chat, or anyway, let me know what I'm doing good, what I'm doing bad, like what I can do to make the stream better, and you know, let me know when I'm doing good so then I know what to keep doing, essentially. Like I said, I'm pretty brand new at this. So every space station, you're gonna want to come get this exosuit upgrade. It's normally pretty cheap, and you want to do it every time you visit a new system. Always go to the solar system, even if you're jumping from system to system to get to an objective. Always go to the space station and get this exosuit upgrade. It's 100% worth it. This is the appearance modifier, and now we can change our look. And I'm gonna go with anomaly because I like the spaceship people. I'm actually pretty basic, so I'm just gonna stick to the basic ones. Straight up all white is epic. I like that a lot. Green and black looks alright too, but let's go basic. I like the all white. It's the one I always use normally. We can get a short person out of work. We're not gonna mess with anything. We're just gonna leave it all white right now. Eventually we may mess around with it and change everything up, but they did just recently add capes, which doesn't sound that much, but it is super awesome. Not gonna lie, I love it. So let's go with, no, we don't want that. We want, let's do white, maybe purple here. Yeah, I like purple. Purple's a cool color. So we're gonna change changes, and this is what our new character looks like. We got our cape. It also flies with us, and this definitely makes you feel like a superhero. It's about the little things in life, I swear. These are all the upgrades. So this is your exocraft research. This is our, I think, ship research. Yep, ship. And then this is multi-tool. Yep. So in the multi-tool, you can come here and see they offer upgrades for nanites. So we purchase upgrade modules, and now you can see I can buy a mining beam module for 72 nanites, which I don't have any nanites. I have 0, but I have 4,700 units. So we need to get nanites, and then we could buy, and you could even come here and get, like, you know, the best of the best, but it's gonna cost you. But so say we're here, we'd want a mining module probably, because it's just going to increase the efficiency with mining. We're going to need to do that a lot, but we'd use something like that. But here's a trick that you used to do all the time. I don't know if it's the new cool thing to do, but you used to, every system on top of the solar systems you would go to, there would be a multi-tool either at the space station or somewhere on each planet, and you could swap your tool and upgrade your tool, and that's how you upgraded off this basic C-class tool. But you can see that this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's only 9 slots on this one. This actually doesn't have a tool. There used to be tools here. I don't know. They may not have them anymore. But here's the upgrade station that they added. This is all new. So add slots for free. So now you can upgrade your current multi-tool. You can install expansion slots, new slots, upgrade the class, I guess. Yeah, this is all new. I've never seen any of this. But yeah, if we go here, you can see the starship. We're going to use this a lot, obviously. So, and you can see how we can't really understand what they're saying, but some of it's pretty basic, so it just tells us what to do. Launch thrusters, we got the pulse engine is going to be useful, hyperdrive, starship shield, photo cannon. Obviously, we're going to do a lot of fighting, so this is going to be pretty important, but we don't have any nanites. So what we're going to do now, since we're like at that point to where, all right, so we changed our species. We're now anomaly, which basically looks like cool little spaceman. We upgraded our ship. We got to our first space station. So basically what we need to do now is either A, buy chromatic metal, which we can't afford, or B, go mine it on planets. So there's one other thing I can say. This area here allows you to modify. Maybe not. Where to find upgrades? Upgrade starship, salvage unavailable, upgrade. Where to find upgrades? Upgrade. So if you have inventory storage or storage augmentations, you can have those put in here. You don't want to do that on anything that's not at minimum A class. I would even wait for an S class because that's going to give you your best speed, your best damage, your best space. It just depends on you. Got your cargo planes, you got cargo ships, you got your fighter ships, you got your you got I can't even think. I think those are the two main ones. There's I think one other one. It's like a scientific one, but it allows you to do other things. It's been a minute. I don't remember everything, but so one of the cool ways you used to be able to do this is you would get a ship, and then you would go to a planet, and then on that planet you would find a crashed ship. You would repair that ship, and then you would take that ship, fly it up to the space station in your area, come here, you would disassemble the ship that you just salvage, and salvage the ship you just found, and then that would give you tons of credits and everything. So that was one of the easiest ways to get units and everything right off the bat. So I don't know if that's still a method that you use, but you just find salvage ships, come here, salvage them, get loot, or you just find ways of swapping out like your different ships. So this is our ship. It's kind of cool. I've definitely had cooler, but it's neat. NPCs will come flying in here. You can run up to them, talk to them. They're gonna be like, "Hey, you don't understand what they're saying at all." But what you can do is offer to trade. You can trade directly from them, or you can make an offer on the Lifeform Starship. And this is the best way to, used to be the best way to find really good ships. So you would sit in a space station and you would wait for hours on end for someone to come in with a spaceship you liked the way it looked. That was an S class, and that's how you got your best ship going forward. Now it looks like there's additional things you can upgrade things with now, but that didn't used to be. And I went to go ask this person what their ship was worth, and they took off before I could. But anyway, that's the basic system on how that works. This is our cape we just got. This is our character. We are going to jump in the ship, and we are going to leave the ship, which is going to do us a quick restore point. We know it's saved now. But yeah, that is the very, very, very basic of No Man's Sky. So anyway, when we come back, we will start the liberation. So after we repair the warp drives, we're gonna have to get a bunch of metal, refine that to chromatic metal, and then we will repair the warp drives. We'll use the warp cells they gave us already from the milestone rewards, and when we warp, we're gonna warp into a hostile galaxy or system, and within that system, or within that area, there's going to be freighters, which are just huge spaceships, and it's going to be getting attacked. So that's why it says rescue the interstellar freighter. We're going to have to take out, so there's going to be a bunch of fighting immediately the next episode after we get the after we farm the metal. And then when we get there and we go to the next system, then we'll get to fight the pirates. Then we'll get our freighter, and then, as if you read the expedition when we were reading it, they're not going to want it anymore, and they're going to give it to us for free. So normally a freighter costs you like 16 million units, which obviously we don't have anywhere near that, so we're never going to get that anytime soon. So that's why they give us a freighter on the expedition, because there is no base, so that becomes your base, and that's how you get a freighter from the expedition. So we'll get that next episode. There'll be a bunch of dogfighting in that, and the spaceships, which is going to be a lot of fun, a lot more entertaining than this. And then one other thing I want to tell you about is the discoveries. And this is one of the ways you can get nanites other than selling upgrades to the vendors and the space stations. Is if you come here, you can see these are all the different things that were discovered. So if I go to the planet we were on, it's going to tell us we discovered 7 flora, 2 fauna, and 11 minerals. That's what we discovered. So now we could either A, rename all that, or B, just upload it. So I'll upload all pending discoveries. I've just uploaded all. And then as you can see, we now have 15 nanites. And that's how you get nanites. So obviously it's not a super fast system, but that's how you do it. So you discover things, and then you go out and you can either A, rename certain. So if you're the first person to discover it, you can rename it. If it was discovered 3 weeks ago by Hello Games, then obviously it was already discovered. So you're just basically saying that you found it. So you're uploading that information. You're not actually doing a fresh discovery. If you did that, then you'd be able to have the ability to rename it, everything like that. So anyway, that's where I'm going to leave off. I hope everyone has a terrific evening. I hope if you were watching the stream and you weren't able and you just didn't feel comfortable talking on chat, that next time you come by the stream, feel free to speak up and chat. You know, I got no problem taking a quick break. I'll just jump in the spaceship so we don't die. It's not a single player game, so it may take a little bit longer than just naturally of pausing a single player and just go and talk, no problem. But yeah, for the most part, there shouldn't be any issues with that. So anyway, I hope everybody's enjoying the content. If you are enjoying this, feel free to follow for more. If you are interested in checking out Cyberpunk, I absolutely love that game as well. And we are streaming a brand new series from the Nomad. And right now I'm doing a shotgun build, a high body shotgun build. So building really tanky and just mostly working with tech shotguns and double barrels as we start to find different weapons as we progress through the game. But anyway, my name's Matt. This is Streaming Caffeine. I hope you guys had a great night. And yeah, I'm off to bed. So I will catch you on the next stream. Thanks a lot. Thanks for coming.